Good morning and welcome back, your financial independence investors. I hope y'all are having a great day. Today, I just got through listening to Hyliion's earnings call. Gotta say, this is the best earnings call that I've listened into from Hyliion. We have some very big news. I don't think anybody else is talking about it. Maybe just my mind thinks different as far as some of the aspects that they got into later on whenever the Q&A hit. So we're going to break this down, what actually went on in the conference call, what I think about that, and then we'll get on to the RNG and then the Q&A at the end and some really big news. I kind of put two and two together. He didn't say that this was happening, but it almost like makes sense in my mind. He put a lot of things together without saying anything. So without further ado, if you want daily stock market news, whether we're doing earnings calls like this, just news in general that comes over companies, stocks I'm buying and selling, overviews of stocks, make sure you subscribe, like, comment. We do a video every single day the market's open, so make sure you hit the bell notification so you get notified. Without further ado, let's get into this. So to start off with, they added 43 new teammates in the first quarter alone. So they hired 43 new jobs in the first quarter alone. So this company is growing at a rapid pace. And the Austin headquarter facility is growing. So they're going to be getting this Austin facility to over 120,000 square feet, which in turn significantly increases the capacity and increases the battery development for their products. They installed more than 10 hybrid units this quarter, which isn't a lot. I do realize that was one of the things that, Hyliion kind of got nailed for, but they're doing some really big stuff. So we'll get into this later on, but just to give y'all a reason why they only done 10 units, Thomas basically came out and said, there's been so much innovation that they, like, whenever you talk about their battery tech, a lot of other tech that has evolved a lot, and they're not trying to give these companies that are basically, they're testing these products to see if they want them or not. They're not trying to give them old technology, so they're trying to step up faster and then create these the new, like, I guess, generations of products, if you want to call it. That way they're not giving companies old tech. They're giving them the latest and greatest, which I would much rather them do that than them say, oh, we installed 50 or 60 hybrid units, but it's all old tech and like, oh yeah, we're going to eventually get back to them and then give them new tech, upgrade the battery modules and stuff. So I love that they done 10 units for hybrids. So they also completed more winter testing and validation, which that's why I'm glad they are like looking into this too, because I know the cold for batteries batteries don't like cold weather. They don't like super hot weather either, but cold weather kills them a lot more. So I'm glad they're paying attention to that market. You think Canada, stuff like that, like those markets are huge, very cold climates, even, Alaska, stuff like that, or up north in the United States. So they are going to be expecting revenue recognition in Q2 of 2021. We'll get into more thoughts of that later. I'm trying to keep this nice and compact so you don't have to listen to the whole overview of the conference call. So every single day, over 1 gigabyte of data is generated on each truck. That's phenomenal, especially for this company to be the first company out here. Think of Tesla. They were starting to get all this data and stuff like that for, the Tesla cars way, way, way before any other like GM, Ford, or anything like that started getting data on these trucks. So that's a competitive advantage for Hyliion. The ERX trucks are being built right now. As we're speaking, they're in the Peterbilt factory getting built right now, which is awesome. So they're getting ready, man. Q4 this year, or mainly 2022 Q1, they're going to be shipping these demos out, and they're going to be getting revenue off of that. So the demo units for the hybrids is expecting in Q2 of 2021. That's when they're going to start shipping them out. So next quarter, or basically this quarter that we're in right now, they're basically going to start, I would say in the next like month or so, they're going to start shipping these units out, which they're going to get revenue from. They're also going to be demonstrating the ERX model at trader shows later this summer, and there's a lot of big trucking companies there that go to these meets, whether you're talking about looking at custom built trucks or new innovative, the future of the trucking industry products. So there's going to be a lot of big eyes with a lot of big money. If they catch the right eyes, that could increase revenue or how much demand for their product is significantly. So to get into the RNG now, RNG as a fuel, so actually, vehicles using it as a fuel, grew over 25%. So there's now 157 in operation facilities and 155 under construction or research right now. That's a 98% growth. So you can see these facilities where these trucks are going to be getting this renewable natural gas it's growing fast, which is great for this company. So Thomas Healy later on in the conference call, one thing that came up is, the chip shortage. You're seeing like some of the Fords and stuff like that, GM, they had to like start closing down basically because they didn't have any chips for their vehicles. So with Hyliion not having this huge battery pack and all these other things, like the chip shortage, basically Thomas Healy said the battery and chip shortage is not hitting Hyliion that hard right now. So this could come into play more as they're starting to ramp up products, but think that's more so at the end of this year, and I think a lot of the chip shortage will be it'll be off of its peak from right now. It's already starting to downtrend right now. So Thomas Healy later went on to say that they're already using mod centers, which is basically places outside of Hyliion where they can install these hybrid units. So they're already using mod centers with partners. So he didn't release names, but think like Dyna or maybe Peterbilt, some of their facilities. So they're already using these partners to help scale up production. So and they're ramping up their facility now in Austin to over 120,000 square feet. They got all these partners that's going to help build these trucks too. So I see this being able to scale up pretty well without them having to put a lot of capital into more buildings. So they went on to say that could be gross margin positive while they're still scaling. So maybe at the end of 2022, they could start being gross margin positive, which that would be massive, massive news for this company. That would take it a little bit more off of the risky investments and stuff like that, which that's why it's down so much now. Because if you ain't involved in the trucking industry or have a lot of knowledge, more than likely you're not going to be invested in this company, or you're going to be any kind of weakness in the stock, you're going to be selling out because you don't know that much about the industry. And with the stock price being right now, that's why I see us kind of just hanging out here in the high 8s, jumping up to 9s every once in a while. Because there's people like us, I know a lot of y'all that watch this channel, and myself, I'm not selling my 1,000 shares. Like, I don't care if this goes down to, 6 or low 7s or 5s. I don't care. I'm not selling my shares. If anything, if it goes those levels, I could potentially, after this earnings call, I said that my max limit would be like 1,200 shares in this company. But after this earnings call, like, I could potentially see like upwards of 1,500 shares. And I've been looking at options calls too, and they're looking pretty intriguing right now. So they also went on to say, but this is not going to be, on the initial startup, they're not going to be gross margin positive, which is kind of obvious. Like, what other company that's just starting production is going to be, gross margin positive? That was kind of a stupid question from one of the analysts, but at least he did, ask about later on why they're still scaling. So at least he had some kind of common sense asking that question. So Thomas Healy later on said that they're going to be launching in North America, being that that's where they have a lot of the data that they, all these millions of miles that these trucks have been driven, getting like 1 gigabyte of data a day from every single truck. So they have a lot of data here in the United States or North America, including Canada and stuff. So they have a lot of data here in the United States. That's the main reason that they're starting here in North America and then moving international from there. Which, in my opinion, I do believe that's the right approach, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Like, whenever they start, they think they're working hard now, which yes, they are. But when production starts kicking up, and they're going to be very busy over there, especially if it's what we're about to get into. If this demand is true, if I put two and two together right, this could be huge for the company. So Thomas later on said that hybrids are going to new fleets, big companies. He said they're having a lot of new demand. So this is where I get into not really a conspiracy theory or anything like that, but kind of just putting like what he's saying into perspective of videos that I have done recently. So 180 Anheuser-Busch CNG. None of this is confirmed. This is my opinion. I want to make that very, very clear. That way nobody gets the wrong perception. My opinion alone, putting two and two together. So I done a video, Anheuser-Busch. This is just one company. Anheuser-Busch, they're in their Hypertruck Innovation Council. So Anheuser-Busch right now in St. Louis and Houston has 180 CNG trucks. Thomas said that these fleets are looking at hybridization of the CNG trucks that they already have, the compressed natural gas. So if Anheuser-Busch is on the Hypertruck Innovation Council, they already have these CNG trucks that they're trying to get these hybrid systems installed on. Yeah, let's say they take it easy and they only install, 5. Just see how it goes. Anheuser-Busch has plenty of money on its balance sheet, and they're trying to stay relative in the trucking industry. Let's say they just start out, the first quarter they get 5. They realize what kind of miles per gallon they're going to be getting, how much money they're going to be saving, all the tax. I think there's more in tax benefits than miles per gallon saved, especially with a lot of new incentives, being that Joe Biden's president and, kind of like a lot of politics are changing right now. There's going to be a lot of tax incentives. Once this company sees how profitable they can be long term, when they start using, they start looking in the future and buying ERX trucks and stuff like that, they may start out with 5, but they're going to realize how great this truck is. And they already have 180 CNG trucks in those two areas alone. You can't really find any more news if they have more CNG trucks at other headquarters. But 180 trucks in St. Louis and Houston alone. I want to say they're driving 8.5 million miles a year for all those trucks. That could potentially be very massive news that we maybe see at the end of this year or Q1 of 2022. So that's just me putting two and two together of what I got out of the conference call with Thomas Healy saying that there's a lot of demand these fleets are asking for. They're asking for hybridization of current CNG trucks. I know Anheuser-Busch is on the Hypertruck Innovation Council. It kind of intertwines there. So I thought that was really cool. That's what I'm predicting it. I'll go ahead and say it out there. I could be 100% wrong. That's just my thoughts. And that just about wraps up everything. I do want to say that I don't know if they upgraded their mic on the conference call, but if you want to listen, just go listen to their conference call too, because the quality is amazing. I was listening to Palantir's conference call yesterday, and you're talking about like basically a $40 billion company, and it sounded like absolute crap compared to Hyliion. Like everything super professional, everything, the whole overview, how they went through the conference call. This was probably one of the best conference calls I listened to. Professionalism is on par at this company. So with this, I hope this gave a good overview of the conference call. Kind of wanted to keep this video a little bit short. I know some people don't have, an hour just to sit there and listen to a conference call. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and comment. And with this, I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video.